I've pulled up 2023 cybersecurity predictions. Trend number 1, more attacks in the cloud.
That's a given, right? Everyone's moving to the cloud. Everyone has already moved to the cloud. One of the trends that I've been hearing through rumors, and I'm not sure if anyone's executing on it quite yet, is people moving out of the cloud.
There's a lot that you lose by moving out of the cloud, but there's a lot of protections that you gain. It's almost like you can have one pipe that you have to protect versus the attack surface that you do with using things like the cloud. But does the benefit outweigh the cost? I mean, it's up to every organization to kind of find out for themselves.
Right.
Okay, trend number 2, more threats on the mobile attack surface.
I don't know about that one. I would say in 2022 and even in 2021, I didn't see a ton of attacks on mobile. The attack surface, I would say, is shrinking at a faster pace on mobile than on desktop. And I say that because of applications running in a sandbox. Application A can't talk to application B unless the user specifically agrees to it. Think like having that prompt when you open an app and it says, do you want to allow this app to use the microphone? Do you want to allow it to access your photos? A lot more restrictive than applications on a desktop.
100%. Yeah, I think there's a lot of nuance when it comes to dealing with mobile malware, mobile attacks. The thing about iOS is that it's a closed system, so it's going to be harder for folks to develop that zero-day exploit to affect people. It might be a little easier on something like an Android device because you do have Android updates, but then those updates have to be ported over to the hardware of the manufacturer. And so that can be a little bit of a give and take. So that might be one of the situations where it might increase, but I still think it's a difficult endeavor to do mobile malware.
Next trend, threat actors turn to IoT.
Ooh, IoT, that's everywhere. Refrigerators, my doorbell's in IoT. I could definitely see threat actors turning more to IoT devices.
Honestly, I felt like IoT devices were a hot thing 5 years ago. I think that manufacturers are starting to learn that if I send out a vulnerable device and it is used to do some malicious things, it could be bad news for business. So I think that it's not going to be as bad as people think.
Okay, next trend, the healthcare sector at risk.
Is at risk, has been at risk, always will be at risk to some extent. Hopefully we get around that and get to securing it, but there's just a lot of devices at a hospital.
I think we have to protect our healthcare at all costs. I mean, a lot of those organizations have been around for a long time. They're using equipment that's very, very old. To rip and replace all that equipment would be very, very costly. And so it can be difficult for them to be upgraded to something that's much more secure. Right now, unfortunately, the healthcare system is, I wouldn't call it a sitting duck, but I would say it's a softer target than some of the other industries. And it's a much more important industry that needs to continue to function. So attackers are going to see it as a gold mine.
All right, last one, an increased use of advanced machine learning and AI.
That is probably the best one that they came up with, because I completely agree. As defenders are starting to play around with AI for defense, so are the attackers. They're looking to utilize that to take our money, take our data, and do all kinds of things that we're not even thinking about. AI is really going to be that enabler.
Some of the most trending posts that I see on social media right now are ChatGPT bypass. Getting ChatGPT or another AI algorithm to do something it's not supposed to do. It's designed to do that thing, but I think there's a real market to not only discover those, but to secure against them.
All right, we'll see what happens the rest of the year, and we'll link this report in the comments for people to check out.
Yes, thank you. Shout outs to Vulcan Cyber for releasing this, because it's always great to at least hear what the predictions are each year.
For sure.